Your health is one of the most valuable assets you have. So how would you feel if your health insurance is lying to you? That's what the biggest health insurance in Germany does, according to an internal email that one of you guys leaked to us. You all know which health insurance I'm talking about, so I won't say their name here in case they try to get this video deleted and come at us with a lawyer. Let's call them Big Blue Health Insurance to protect us. Protecting you and your health should be their responsibility. But how can they do this if they spread fake news and lie to you? Let's go through this email together so you know what's best for your health in this PerFinEx health insurance video. Before anyone thinks this is a personal act of vengeance from my side against the Big Blue Health Insurance, no. We have referred people to them in the past because they are one of the very few English-speaking public health insurances here in Germany. And we've also helped people resign from them and change to the private health insurance. And in response to one of these resignations, the Big Blue Health Insurance sent out this email lying to the guy because they are mad that they are losing 1,024 euros a month in premiums. That's how much you and your employer pay them each month if you earn more than 69,300 euros a year and are eligible to switch to the private health insurance. Let's take a look at that email. We start off with two external links from Stiftung Warentest and Finanztipp, which actually weigh the pros and cons of both health insurance systems pretty good, which made me pleasantly surprised. But then it gets interesting with a comparison of public versus private health insurance on their own website. The first fact, before we come to the 6 criteria in the table below, is that only self-employed or employees with a salary above 69,300 euros a year are able to choose freely in which health insurance system they want to be in. Employees with less salary are forced into the public health insurance. And that's the biggest mistake the Big Blue Health Insurance makes in their comparison, because they compare public versus private. But that's not correct. You have to compare forced public versus voluntary public, people with at least 69,300 euros a year salary versus private health insurance. Because the rules for voluntary insured people, those who could switch to private health insurance but choose not to, are vastly different than for forced members of the public health insurance. You'll see later on. And if you are one of these voluntary insured people with the freedom to choose your health insurance system, let's talk and see what's best for you. Is it public or is it private health insurance? The first comparison criteria are the contributions you and your employer pay 50-50. In the public or statutory health insurance, SHI, the contribution depends on your income. That's correct. And if we go back to the email, we find a link to this chart indicating the public premium stayed the same over the last 10 years and even went down, which is not correct. Yes, you pay 14.6% for public health insurance, but 14.6% of what? 14.6% of the Beitragsbemessungsgrenze, the maximum amount of salary which is raised by the government every single year. So in reality, the public premiums do not stay the same. They look like this. And this is the issue, that the Big Blue Health Insurance does not differentiate between forced members and voluntary members to push their fake narrative. If you have a gross salary of 3,000 euros per month, your public premiums stay the same over the years. Yes, but then this whole comparison is meaningless because this person cannot switch to the private health insurance anyway. The only comparison that makes sense is to compare voluntary members with the private health insurance. And if you are a voluntary member, you do pay more than 1,000 euros a month for public health insurance already, which will probably rise again next year. And also, if we go back to the chart from their own website we had earlier, why does it say 15.8% and not 14.6%? Because of the additional contribution of 1.2%, the Big Blue Health Insurance is charging you. So 14.6% is not just wrong because the salary amount is raised by the government every year, but also because of this additional contribution you are paying since 2015. And what also seems to be forgotten by the lady who wrote this email is that the public care insurance raised its contribution for people with kids to 3.4% and for people without kids to 4% just last year. So you're not paying 14.6% as they want to make you believe. You pay 19.2% if you have kids and 19.8% if you don't have kids. What about the private health insurance, PHI? Your premium depends mainly on your entry age and the coverage you want to have. Let's put the risk premiums and the pre-existing conditions on hold, and let's talk about that later on when we come to the health check. And let's also ignore occupation. Dear Big Blue Health Insurance, if you're watching this video, which I really hope you do, name one private health insurance in Germany that charges different if people have different jobs. One single insurance. Send it to us and we will delete this video instantly. Disability insurances do, that's true, but not health insurance. So is it possible that something got a little mixed up in your table? So now that we know that only entry age and coverage matters, let's see what a 30-year-old would pay. 425 euros a month, split 50-50 with his employer for 3-star coverage, and about 100 euros more for 5-star coverage. The best coverage you can get in Germany. That's half of what you would pay for public health insurance with 1-star coverage. What about a 40-year-old? 511 euro up to 635 euros a month, and even a 50-year-old would pay less than 800 euros a month. That's 200 euro less for the best coverage in Germany for a 50-year-old. And all these plans are with 0 euro co-payment from your side. If we would add 100 euro co-payment per month, the 50-year-old would pay half of public again, 500 euros. This is absolutely insane if you let that sink. Public health insurance might be alright for forced people with a low salary because they don't pay that much anyway. But if you're a high earner, they are ripping you off big time. And of course in the private health insurance you can get cash back on top. I'll tell you how much I got later on. And in the second line, they say that public lowers the contributions if you get disabled or retire. But that's not true either. The Big Blue Health Insurance charges 19.2% or 19.8% of your income until the maximum salary threshold from the government. We talked about that earlier. If you are disabled or retired, this doesn't change anything. And if they mean principally lower contributions because people earn in principle less in retirement or when they're disabled, then that is one hell of a way to trick your customers. And the same lie about the private health insurance. No lower premiums in retirement. Who wrote this text for sake? Any private health insurance premium consists of 4 parts. Health insurance, care insurance, your daily sick leave pay, which is optional, and your seniority savings that will help to keep your premium in retirement as low as possible. They go away with 60. So every single private health insurance will get cheaper then. And with 67, your sick leave pay goes away because you don't need any salary replacement anymore when you retire. Lying again. Twice. The Big Blue Health Insurance is on a roll here. Will your private health insurance premiums rise over the next years and decades until you retire? Yes, because of medical inflation, and no, not because you get older. We talked about this already in our health insurance and retirement video. But is there at least one true sentence here in this table? At least one? No. Because it's also not true that you are stuck at 55 if you want to go back from private to public, which is exceptionally funny to me because the Stiftung Warentest article the lady was linking in her email states that it is possible. Now what about your family members? They are insured for free. right? Yes, if they have a mini job or earn less than 505 euros a month. If they earn more, if both of you are employed and earn above the threshold, you will both pay more than 1000 euros per month to the Big Blue health insurance. And what about kids? Yes, you do pay extra for them in private, but they cost usually 100 to 150 euros a month, of which you pay 50% only because of the employer benefit. So if you save 500 euros a month by switching from public to private health insurance, you can get 5 kids and you would still be cheaper than public, especially if we factor in the cashback that we talked about earlier. And if you want to take a look at all the different combinations with parents and kids, in public and private, feel free to watch our health insurance video for parents right after this one. This video also answers what happens during maternity leave or when you're on sick leave, because the Big Blue health insurance says you're insured for free during this time. But you guessed it, that's only half the truth. They even have an entire article on their own website called "Why do I have to pay Social Security contributions when receiving sick pay?" You might not have to pay health insurance, but all the other parts of Social Security, public pension, unemployment insurance, and of course the Big Blue health insurance is charging care insurance. Is it just me, or am I the only one that finds it completely ridiculous that they publish this table to pretend how cool they are, and then they expose their own lies with other articles on their own website? They must believe that all of us are insanely stupid that we don't find out. Where they do have a point is during maternity leave. But again, they conveniently forgot that there are forced members and voluntary members again. Forced members do not have to pay public health insurance during maternity leave. But who cares, right? Forced members are out of the comparison anyway. We have to compare voluntary members with privately insured people, right? So let's look on their website again to complete the truth with what they forgot to mention. You are only exempt from contributions if you have absolutely zero income aside from Elterngeld. If you get any income from real estate, investments, dividends, child support, anything, you pay 19.2% of that to the Big Blue health insurance. Where you can be insured really for free is in the private health insurance. For a couple of years now, there are plans where you are insured for free for at least 6 months when you're on maternity leave, or the baby is insured for free in his first year. Not sure how old their table is and when they updated it the last time, but private health insurance is upgraded big time here over the last years. So, again, another lie exposed. Next up, before we come to a really fun one, how much money will you actually get when you're on sick leave? The Big Blue health insurance says you get up to 90% of your net salary. Pretty good, right? But of course there's a catch to it that they don't tell you. Because the Big Blue health insurance compares 90% of your net salary with 70% of your gross salary and pays you whichever number is lower. And no matter how much those numbers are, the maximum amount per day is 120 euros anyway. And if you earn at least 5,775 euro gross or 3,550 euro net to be a voluntary member, we are talking about a pay cut of 22% because your sick leave pay is 2,777 euros. Ouch. In private, they are right that sick leave pay is generally not included, which is absolutely awesome for 2 reasons. First, you can decide on your own how much daily sick leave pay you want. And if we come back to the 5-star insurance for 530 euros a month that we had earlier, you can see that 120 euros a day cost you 37 euros a month. Actually 18 euros only because of the 50% employer benefit, which is included in the 530 euros already. And second, if you don't need the daily sick leave pay anymore because you make enough passive income, just cancel this part of the contract and save 37 euros a month. That's what I did a couple of years ago, and that's why I find it absolutely awesome that sick pay can be insured separately so you can get rid of it. Now we come to the fun part with financial security of the statutory health insurance fund. I'm not sure if I should laugh or cry when I read this, to be honest, because this public health insurance fund lost 2.2 billion in the first half of 2024, and now there is only 6.2 billion left. So a little over 1 year from now, this fund that is supposed to provide financial security for almost 75 million people insured in the public health insurance could be empty. All while private health insurances get richer and richer by the second. They sit on more than 338 billion euro savings right now, and every minute another 25,000 euros is added to that. So I'm asking you, which system is giving the better financial security over the next years and decades? Now, what about the fact that people in the private health insurance have to pay for doctor bills themselves, while people in the public just swipe their card? Again, designed perfectly by the private health insurance. Last time I visited a doctor was about 2 months ago for dental cleaning. That costed around 100 euro. Now I can decide what to do with this bill. Either send it to my private health insurance and make them pay for it, or I pay for it myself and get cashback. And since my cashback was almost 900 euro this year, I happily pay for 100 euros myself if that means I get way more in cashback. Could I send the bill to my insurance? Yes, but then they laugh at me because I just wasted 800 euros. Now what if you want to get into the public health insurance? There's no health check. That's right. And that's probably the first correct fact in the table here. Wow, right at the end. I'm impressed. Now we could make a huge debate about universal healthcare. Is it right or is it not? But the fact of the matter is, if you want to insure absolutely everyone and everything, someone has to pay for it. And as the public health insurance fund that is fed through our tax money is almost at zero, as we've just seen, there's only two other options: lowering the coverage and raising the prices for everyone in the public health insurance. That's what public did in the past, and that's what they will do in the future. And that's why the private health insurance protects its existing customer base by making health checks for new people that want in. And so does any other insurance ask you risk questions before you can get this insurance. Because if everyone would be allowed in the private health insurance, the premiums would explode. And that's where the big blue health insurance was right again when they said earlier in the table that private health insurances can make you pay more with risk surcharge, or they decline your application completely if you are not healthy anymore. One more reason to switch to the private health insurance ASAP if you think about doing so. What did we learn in this video? Health is a very important topic. Hey, what did we learn in this video? Health, Zoe, hey, Zoe. What did we learn in this video? Health is a very important topic, and your health insurance will be one of the most important partners to keep you healthy as long as possible. Or they should be at least. And if your health insurance starts lying to you when you want to leave them, the question is, where did they lie before already? How deep does this rabbit hole go? Aside from all the fun I had making this video by exposing another liar, I think it's very sad that one of the biggest health insurances in Germany is lying to you. I think it's a disgrace. And if you feel the same way and want to look for a new, better health insurance, public or private, then you can book a free meeting with us on perfinex.de/meeting. Thank you very much for watching, and I see you next Sunday.